Well, it's been a fast hour, so I want to give you both some time to say anything else that's on your mind, reiterate points that you think are really important, bring something up that we neglected to talk about, and we'll start with you, Adam.
Thanks. Well, I appreciate the time to sit down here. And one thing I wanted to also mention with the education is that, and I know that Guy Palumbo, the senator that had been censured and then resigned in 2019, one of the things he supported, at least to some degree, was funding charter schools. And I think that I'm a big believer in that. And I think that right now this situation really highlights the need for charter school funding. And I think that as a parent, I should be able to take the money that the state is allocating for my child and take that and apply it to a school that already has the online learning totally figured out. That should be an option for me, and I think that's something the legislature could do right away. But I'm really here to stand against the shutdowns and to fight against these mandated curriculum and other things that are coming out of Olympia. And I think that we need to stand up as a people, and I think that it's going to be up to us to fight back against another lockdown that's going to further destroy our economy, and that's why I'm running for office. So.
Thank you. Representative.
Thank you very much. The one thing that I think we didn't talk about that we probably should have is the wildfires. I think that's something that is only going to be exacerbated by climate change and the need for as hard as it is to say in this budget year, the need for funding is enormous. I think it's upwards of $60 million they believe we need in order to properly fund forest maintenance, I guess, would be the correct terminology. So I think that's something that we definitely need to deal with, and we know it's exacerbated by climate change. So that's something I really wanted to mention, if not this year, when. I know that I and my children had a really difficult time being indoors for a week, and right now it's only going to get worse unless we deal with it. So I lost track of what else we were going to talk about, but I just want to thank you for the opportunity. I'm really focused on doing whatever I can to make sure the budget process doesn't make cuts that will only worsen the economy, and I'm focused on environmental protection and protecting the vulnerable. Those are my priorities.
Okay, well, thank you again both for your time today, and thanks for running. And we'll sign off.
Thank
Have a
you.
great day.
Have a good day.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Well, that was my Seattle Times interview during the coronavirus pandemic shutdown. We had to do the interview digitally. And so I came back home on my lunch break today to participate in the interview. So hope you enjoyed it, and I will be posting this online.
Adam, any closing statement you want to make?
Closing statement, there's a lot of people hurting right now, as I've said, that haven't received any money. And I think that the answer to the majority of our problems that we face right now in the 1st Legislative District and the state at large would be the beginnings of addressing those problems is going to be reopening our state, and it's going to be up to us to stand up and fight against another lockdown. That Jay Inslee abusing his power and picking winners and losers and deciding who gets to play in the economic game and who gets to make money and who doesn't. That needs to stop, and it's going to be up to us to stand up and fight against that. And that's going to be up to the legislature. And right now there isn't anybody speaking up for the small business, the working family, the people that have been really affected by these closures. If you work for big tech or big business, you're fine, you're insulated. The biggest inconvenience for these people is you might have to work from home or have your kids here during the day. But for the rest of us, people are hurting, people are dying from suicide, and I think this needs to be addressed. I think we need to reopen our state, get everything back to the way it was, get our economy back. We had one of the greatest economies in the country here in the Pacific Northwest, and that's going to be the answer. Restoring that economy is going to be the answer to many of our problems.
Okay, good, thank you. And Davina, anything you want to say in conclusion?
I would just say we're living in unprecedented times, and we don't know the long-term impacts of COVID. At one point, we thought the human papillomavirus didn't do anything, and then suddenly, 20 years later, everyone's getting cancer. So to assume that you can get it and you have no symptoms and you're fine and that you don't spread it is, I don't think that's necessarily realistic. And I agree, we're all suffering, but I think, when you look at Washington State's numbers compared to other states that have opened up, we're doing better. And I think that means we'll bounce back better and sooner. And so I continue to believe we should follow the science, work on our contact tracing, and open up in a judicious, slow manner, but one that will sustain.
Okay. Well, thank you both for taking the time for this. I enjoyed the conversation.